If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and I think this movie Wonder is going to do really well. It's obviously well-timed for the holidays. It's a nice family movie. Stars Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson, and actually some really good supporting roles. Mandy Patinkin plays a school principal.
Yeah, he's from South Shore.
Yeah, Chicago guy. He's good, and actually you get sort of a cameo. I haven't seen her in a long time. It was cool. Sonia Braga. Remember
Really?
Sonia Braga? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what she did?
She plays it's the family. So Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson are the parents. They've got two kids. She plays the grandmother. Sonia Braga does, and she has a very close relationship with the Julia Roberts, Owen Wilson's daughter. So there's kind of a flashback. It's pretty cool. So I saw it because, all the great movie reviewers, we kind of see these movies together. So like me, Gene Shalit, Michael Medved. We hang out. We go see these movies together. And, it's really quite good. It reminded me a little bit of Mask with Eric Stoltz and Cher. You remember that?
I remember that movie.
It was directed by Stephen Chbosky, who is the best-selling author of The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought it was well done. I didn't know much about it before I saw it, but I thought it was well done. And I say that I'm not like a huge Julia Roberts fan, but she was very good. For more on the movie and why you should take your kids to go see it this holiday season, we're pleased to be joined by one of the producers of Wonder. He is Todd Lieberman. Todd, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Really good to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
So I know this is the movie is based on the R.J. Palacio novel of the same title, but just the decision to option her book into a movie.
Yeah, we're always looking for stories out there. My business partner David and I, and we were given this novel just as it was being published in February of 2012, almost 6 years ago. And the book really hadn't sold many copies because it had just come out. We read this book and we called each other that night and basically said, this is a story that we just have to do. The message in there, we're both parents, we're both fathers, and just the idea of choose kind, the idea of getting that message out there, it was just really powerful. And we called RJ. We said, we read your novel. We've fallen absolutely in love with it. We have no idea how we're going to get this movie made. But we promise you one thing, that we're going to get this movie made because your novel will change lives, and we hope that maybe a small sliver of what we can do for a movie might do the same thing. And here we are 6 years later.
Wow, it took 6 years in the making. Well, how did you get such big names as Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson and others to star?
Yeah, this was it really is kind of a testament to how brilliant this book is, because conventionally, someone like me, we go out and we try to corral these super famous movie stars to join our movie so that someone will finance it. In this case, strangely enough, Julia Roberts had read the book, read it to her kids, and she called us. It was kind of a reverse casting. So
wow.
Really?
we had lunch with her, and she said, "Can I please be a part of your book?" We said, "Sure, yes, you can."
Wow, interesting.
And, took off from there.
And then did she recruit Owen Wilson, and did she have a say?
No, we were, once you have Julia aboard, it seems like people probably want to be a part of that, and it's her plus this book that so many people had read and so many people love. We went out to Owen and we said, you've never really played this role before, Owen, and he's got so much humanity, he's got so much humor, and the mixture between kind of sentiment and levity. And he was so perfect, and they had never worked before together. But once we got them on set and we saw that family come together, it was pure magic.
It really is good casting. He does a nice job as well. But I got to tell you, as much as you got big names with Wilson and Roberts, the two kids, the kid that plays Augie, who's got a genetic disorder, so he looks different facially, and his sister Via, who basically, there was a great scene because she's in the school play, Our Town, and the acting within the acting is good. Her acting in Our Town was as good as her acting in the movie generally. But the two of these kids, particularly Augie, steal the show. Where did you find them?
Yeah, that's the risk you take with children actors, because you just have no idea. In the case of Jacob Tremblay, he is just a brilliant young man. We had seen him in this movie called Room.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's the kid in Room.
Oh, I didn't make the connection.
He's so good in Room.
Yeah.
He's incredible. But at the time he did that movie, he was way too young to play Augie. So in a way, the fact that our movie took a little bit of time to get up and running, because we'd done a nationwide casting search for Augie. I mean, we read countless young men and tons of people coming in from all walks of life in the facial difference community and outside of it. And by the time Julia had kind of come aboard, and by the time we'd gotten the script ready and we'd gotten Stephen, it just so happened that Jacob was of age. And, we believe that he's a once-in-a-generation actor, and there was no better creative choice than this young man. So once we got him aboard, then we started reading a bunch of young women for Via. And Bella Vidovic, who is, I agree with you, she's incredible, just a brilliant young woman. She read for the part. She came in several times. We did a chemistry read with her, and she kind of won it on her own.
Wow.
But they do really seem like a family.
They really do. Yeah, they really do.
How long did it take to shoot the movie? And
yeah, we were in production for just over 40 days. Once that happens, then you go into post, and we edited the film for several months. But ironically enough, and I don't know if this is something that they told you before, and we actually shot this movie in Vancouver. So it's Vancouver for New York. And we shot parts of it in New York, some of the exterior stuff. But the brownstone where they live is actually a built set that's on a stage. And even the exterior of it, even the part where they come in and out of the house, that's on a stage too. So we blended kind of what we did in Vancouver with some of the exterior stuff in New York.
No, I mean, part of the movie, I mean, a significant part of the plot line, and you mentioned at the outset, is kind of choose kindness, and so this is a kid who looks differently because of a genetic birth defect and a lot of surgeries he had to have, and the typical, some kids are mean and some kids are a little bit more understanding, and there's an evolution in terms of the kid's understanding of this boy Augie, who's got some special challenges, and I wonder, how people with challenges are receiving this, and if enlisting different groups that have different physical and developmental and intellectual challenges, if that's a way to actually kind of help distribute this story.
Yeah, I mean, boy, from the very beginning, we've been kind of seamlessly integrated in and with different organizations like MyFace and CCA, these craniofacial communities. And we, along with our director, Stephen, and Jacob, really immersed ourselves into this world to really get to know and understand and befriend. And through the process of making this movie, I mean, I will say personally, I've become genuine friends with many of these families. And just kind of understanding that point of view. There's a line in the movie which I just love. It's one of my favorites in the whole film, where Mr. Tushman says, Augie can't change the way he looks, so maybe we can change the way we see.
Yeah.
That idea of if we can change our perception of differences, then potentially there will be some good overall change in the world. And the process of making the movie, the process of being involved in the film, has certainly altered my perception. And I'm hoping that in the same way the novel does, that people can kind of leave the film feeling the same thing.
But the other thing I like about it, too, is it's to use an overused phrase, it's not politically correct in the way that it deals with it, too. At the point, like when Augie meets Tushman, who's played by Mandy Patinkin, Tushman says, go ahead, you can laugh at my last name. I've heard them all, right? The idea, and then as he becomes genuine friends with other kids in class, they laugh at each other's failings and differences, and it's right, exactly. It's not mean spirited. It's just kind of having fun with each other about your differences. You don't need to be on eggshells around me, and I don't need to be on eggshells around you because we're friends. And so I like that development too. It struck me as more real.
Yeah, that was a balance we certainly wanted to make, and RJ did it in her novel, and Stephen has a great sense of humor, and it was really important to us to balance the sentiment with the humor. So the fact that she, in her novel, called him Mr. Tushman and allows for jokes about that speaks to kind of the direction that she was looking for in that balance. And when Augie says things like, Jack Will says to him, have you ever considered plastic surgery? And he says, this is after plastic surgery.
Yeah,
And don't I look worse?
It takes a lot of work to look this good.
Right.
He's got a self-awareness.
Right.
And balancing out those two things was really important because you want to, you need a little release valves every once in a while when you've got heavy subject matter, and we want people to be entertained and have fun, and like you said, it's real life.
Yeah. Now, have you met Augie Pullman?
So Augie Pullman is a fictional character. This book was written. It was inspired by an experience that RJ had with her own son. There's a nod to it in the film. It wasn't in the novel, but she walked into an ice cream store with her young son, and in that ice cream store there was a young girl with a facial difference. Mm-hmm. And in a moment of parental decision, she whisked her son out of there so as to protect him and the young girl from him potentially screaming. And when she went into her car, Natalie Merchant's song Wonder was playing on the radio. And this whole idea of, as she's questioning her parental decision, this whole idea of empathy and a young person with a facial difference, and how do you deal with that, kind of coalesced in her mind. And I've met lots and lots of real Augie Pullmans, but there is no actual Augie Pullman.
He is Todd Lieberman. He's the producer of the new movie Wonder, which will be in theaters throughout the Chicagoland area, and I highly recommend it. It's a great family movie and a good time to see it with the holidays setting in. Todd, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with the film.
Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for support.
You're the best. Thank you so much. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.